Gradually, Maharaja Bharata became very affectionate toward the deer. He began to raise it and maintain it by giving it grass. He was always careful to protect it from the attacks of tigers and other enemies. Careful to protect. Please, we are reading about our state of mind. Always careful when he keeps it, he petted it. This way, he always tried to keep it in a comfortable.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, your voice is breaking a bit.
Thing about others.
Same, Prabhu.
It is breaking.
Breaking, huh?
Yeah, Prabhu. Straight into.
The
Sorry?
voice.
It's breaking. It's breaking, Prabhuji.
Okay, is it better now? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. We know it is better.
Okay. So yeah, so I was saying careful to protect. First,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, it's still breaking.
okay, what about now? Audible?
Bro, once again rejoin, bro.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is it better?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Is it clear now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So I'm going to continue. Yeah, so always careful to protect the deer. Always trying to keep it in a comfortable condition. He sometimes kissed it out of love. The deer being attached to raising the deer, being attached to raising children, being attached to raising Maharaja Bharata forgot the rules and regulations for the advancement of spiritual life. Please note each and every statement here is very, very important. He forgot the rules and regulations for advancement. And he gradually forgot to worship the Supreme. After a few days, he forgot everything about his spiritual life. This is the process of following. And this happens either if we have too much material affection beyond what is required, or if we end up doing aparadhas, especially Vaishnava. This is what a devotee who has done something like that experience. This is what he goes through. And of course, with Vaishnava aparadha, there will also be punishment. Finally, there will be punishment. Okay, so please register these. Careful to protect the deer. Trying to always keep it in a comfortable position. Kissed it out of love. Being attached to raising the deer. He forgot rules and regulations for advancement in spiritual life. Gradually, he gave up worship. And in few days, he forgot everything about his spirit. From this, we can understand how we have to be very cautious in executing our spiritual duties by observing the rules and regulations and regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now, most important thing here. Look, read this also. If we neglect doing this, we will eventually fall down. What if we neglect, we will fall down? We must rise early in the morning, bathe, attend Mangalarti, wherever the temple, at home, whatever, attend Mangalarti, worship deities, photos, etc. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra, study the Vedic literatures, follow all the rules prescribed by the acharyas and the spiritual monk. This is what we need to do. If we deviate from this process, we may fall down, even though we may be very highly. Meaning, some devotees, they follow all this for many years, and then they think they're so advanced that they'll stop. But he's saying, even if one is very highly advanced, if he stops this process, he will fall down. Yajnadana tapakarma na tyajyam karyam tat yagnodhanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great soul. Even if one is in the renounced order, he should never give up the regulative principles. He should worship the deity and give his time and life to the service of Krishna. Also, continue following the rules and regulations of austerity and penance. Please. What is small rules and regulations also are big penance nowadays. But anyway, it has to be followed. These things cannot be given up. One should not think oneself very advanced simply because one has accepted the sannyas order. Activities of Bharata Maharaj carefully studied. So whoever it is, simple rules. For example, wearing Vaishnava clothes. I've seen devotees coming to even festivals without wearing Vaishnava clothes. This all just shows that we are not serious about following rules prescribed by our acharya. So if we don't follow this, then we are gone. Like I said, in addition to this, we should not develop too much attachment to aham and mama, this body and things connected to the body. And we should be far away from seva aparad, nama aparad, vaishnava aparad. At least we should strive to be away. Keep these three far away. Then there are no chance, or there will be very less chances of fall down. There are very high chances of us press and achieve. Okay. Now, if suppose say we are too materially attached, what will happen even if we are following this process? What will happen? Vaishnava Prad, I told. Okay, so just for everybody's understand, Seva Prad, when we are doing Seva, if we are not conscious about the rules of Seva, which is inside the temple mostly, it results in Nama Prad. Namna Bala Dhyasya Papa Buddhi. That Nama Prad will happen. Because Seva Prad actually is not acceptable. But if devotees keep ignoring Seva Prad continuously, then it results in Nama Prad. And if one engages in Nama Prad, he will end up doing Vaishnava Prad. Then he'll fall down. Like I said, Vaishnava Prad is criticizing people, doing politics, hypocrisy, saying one thing, doing something else, talking about devotees behind others, not being simple, straightforward, not being simple living, high thinking, having some personal agenda. All this will result in fall down. Okay. So, and that will also, like I said, it will result in punishment for rectification. And even after the punishment, if we don't rectify ourselves, then we may just fall down. Okay. Now that is serious stuff. Yeah. Of course, not everybody might engage in these activities. This is more relevant for people who are in leadership position. And Vaishnava Aparad, yes, anybody can do. Generally we don't respect other devotees much. Then we'll simply, like we talk about other materially, we talk about it. And that's not good. So that result in slowly we will lose interest in devotional activities, especially Shravanam. Especially Shravanam. Because anyway, Kirtanam, chanting, we are doing, anyway, we are doing it offensively. So that will go on. Right. One day, like taste for Shravanam goes down, taste for Kirtanam goes down, everything goes. We will just be maybe for some time in the association of devotees. Okay. So that's one issue. The other one is too much material attachment. Question was, one has too much material attachment. How will this process get affected? I told how the process will get affected if we do seva prad, nama prad, question. Now, how will the process get affected if we are too materially attached? Aham and mama. Anybody? Nobody. How are we getting affected today by our material attachment? What is it doing to our sadhana?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Huh?
Prabhu, priorities we will be neglecting the priorities.
Yeah,
For
priority
example,
will be given to material things. Very good.
material things.
Priority will be given to material things. So what we'll do is instead of giving our time, energy for spiritual activities, we will give it for material activities. That is the first thing that will happen. What are the other things that will happen? So that results in a lot of havoc because we might not attend, we might skip satsangs or temple programs. Not so much. Yeah, so that is clear, right? So many things can get affected. What else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We get again further entangled with birth.
Further entanglement. More importantly, we will not have time. So when we are too material attached, two things happen. One is we will not have time. Second, our consciousness is completely taken up, absorbed materially. So when we are chanting, we are doing namaprad. We have no attachment to that. Like I said, then Shravanam we won't have time or we won't, etc. etc. So we can see if we are materially attached, then our consciousness in Krishna conscious activities will go down. For time available for us engaging in Krishna conscious activities will go down. We will not value association of devotees. We will not value Shravanam. We don't want to follow rules and regulations. All this is indicative that we have a spiritual. Somebody is not able to finish their chanting in the morning every day. Prabhupada said it is a disease. Of course, I keep telling Mataji's have some leeway, but not beyond 12 noon. My own rule, but preferably 9 a.m. if not maximum 12 noon. Don't take your chanting beyond that. And I'm talking about 16 rounders, not others. If you are doing less than 16 rounds, of course, make that your life's priority. Make sure that first, irrespective of what our responsibilities are, there will always be some time, when we will have some free time. For example, you take. You should make sure that in the child is. No, we have to have that energy, push ourselves. And for those Matajis who are working also, really prioritize your life. If you are able to really do everything, take care of the family, yoga, take care of your work, and also do your spiritual activities up to you. If you're the superwoman, you can do. But again, these activities cannot get affected. Priority cannot be work. Because priority for Matajis has to be home, then sadhana. Children, sadhana. Actually, Prabhupada said very, then sadhana. Then of course reading. Then at the end of the list will be work. And I don't think any corporate will be able to digest that. Oh yeah, but anyway, that's the direction. But even if you want to work and slog, that's fine. That's your choice. But these things should not get affected if you are serious about spiritual life, right? Yeah, and then of course, then there are some devotees who have real. I know Matajis who are single mothers who have to work. Okay, let's pray for the pray to Krishna to help you out your sadhana time, but not taking it for granted. Not taking it for granted, saying that okay, this is all that I can do. It'll go for it. See, the whole problem here is fall down. It will result in fall down. We will lose taste. Now, what happens then when we hear somebody talking about some rules to be followed and all, we run away because we are not able to follow basic stuff. Right? Rise in the morning, we can't do. Don't have Mangalarti. We're not able. Can't. Don't have time for readings. And then everything will go downhill. Don't. We should not assume saying that okay, today I am not able to do, but few years I'm going to do. Many devotees do this future planning, saying that okay, today I'm not able to read Shastra because I don't have time. 5 years I'll start reading. All this is cheating ourselves. Not going to happen. Because especially studying Shastra is the least thing for which we have taste. And our mind is just very creative to just give us reasons to say we don't want to do it. Then eventually we. Okay, so please treat this as a really emergency situation. Don't unfortunately, devotees pray for a better material life, better relations, better conditions, comfortable conditions, trying to protect ourselves and etc. etc. So treat this words. You can read this 100 times if you register this. The great King Maharaja Bharata began to think, alas, this helpless young deer, by the force of time, an agent of the Supreme Person of Godhead, has now lost its relatives and friends and has taken shelter of me. And go through this psychology of Maharaj. Does not know anyone but me. Oh, my child doesn't know anyone but me. As I become its father, mother, brother, relatives, this deer is thinking in this way and it has full faith in me. Does not know anyone but me. Me. Therefore, I should not be envious and think that for the deer, my own welfare will be destroyed. See, this is the cheating process. Maharaj Bharata's mind is cheating, saying, don't be envious and think that for the deer, my own welfare, which is my own welfare means spiritual welfare. Oh, for my spiritual welfare is being destroyed. No, that's not as important as my mundane, love and compassion. And then he's saying, I should certainly raise, protect, and gratify and fondle it. Certainly, my spiritual life is not important. I should certainly raise, protect, gratify, and fondle it. Second shelter with me. How can I neglect it? Full cheating. Ignorance. Maharaj Bharata has come to the plot. Even though the deer is disturbing my spiritual life, even though my attachment to my body is spirit disturbing my spiritual life, even though the attachment to my family spirit disturbing my spiritual life, even though my attachment to my office is disturbing my spiritual life, realize that a helpless person who has taken shelter cannot be neglected. It will be a great fault. When a person is advanced in spiritual consciousness, he naturally becomes very sympathetic toward all living entities suffering. It is natural. It is a natural compassion. Naturally, such an advanced person thinks of the suffering of the people in general. However, if one does not know of the material sufferings of fallen souls and becomes sympathetic because of bodily comforts, such sympathy or compassion is the cause. Sympathetic to fallen, suffering humanity should elevate people. discussed this yesterday. As far as the deer was concerned, Maharaja Bharata became very sympathetic, but he forgot that it was impossible for him to elevate a deer to spiritual consciousness. A deer is but an animal. Forgot. So definitely no attachment to animals. I mean, human beings is only not appreciated. Definitely no attachment to it. It is very dangerous for Maharaja Bharata to sacrifice all his regulated simply to take care of animals. Also extends to beyond a certain limit to our near and dear. Beyond a certain limit. Principles enunciated in Bhagavad Gita. As the material body is concerned, we cannot do anything for anyone. However, by the grace of Krishna, we may raise a person. Ourselves follow the rules and note this. By the grace of Krishna, we may raise a person to spiritual. We ourselves follow the rules and regulations. Give up our own spiritual activities and simply become concerned with bodily ourselves or others. Yeah. Any reflections? Any thoughts? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Ankita.
But he forgot it was impossible for him to elevate a deer to spiritual consciousness
Yeah.
because all a deer is but an animal. But in one of the book I studied that even in animal species of life, there's a chance that they will be elevated.
Yeah,
So
there's a chance, and for that you have to just give prasadam, not become too attached to itching. The animal is itching itself, so let me itch for it on its behalf. Let me feed food to it. Let me kiss the animal. None of this is as important as our spiritual activity. Cook prasadam, give prasadam to animals. That's the end of your responsibility towards animals. Nothing else to be done.
okay.
Of course, we can protect if animals are being. We can protect, killed brutally, but not getting attached. The whole point here is this verse is not saying don't do anything for anybody. If you have the ability to restrain yourself, and not get overly attached, do. But if you're going to get overly attached, give it more priority than your spiritual activities. Better not get involved at all. Better keep yourself away from such situations. Like devotees who can't control, just eat, say ice cream or pizza, they will eat it. So such devotees, they have to keep away from these food items, right? There is no other way, because otherwise every time we come in contact, we fall down. Every time I see ice cream, I fall down. Every time I see pizza, I fall down, because it won't be prasadam. I just eat, saying, it's okay. It's just one time. It's okay. I'll just eat chocolate. On yatra, I can eat chocolate or whatever.
The stressing point is we should be cautious on what we are doing, not too much
And
attached.
yeah, and the important point, Mataji, to note is generally we fail to realize that we are getting attached. When we get attached, no, our mind will just tell, no, like Bharat Maharaj mind is pushing, giving logic. No, this is the right thing to do. It's poor thing, ayo, papa, you know. So our mind will very successfully cheat us when we get attached. Then we will not come to anybody to seek advice. This is how fall down happens. We don't come to anybody. We don't ask anybody because we're just attached. And we just go in that direction thinking that I am right, whatever I'm doing is right. I don't need anybody's advice. And this happens to mostly those devotees who don't do regular reading. Absolutely happens to them. For others also, they might be hearing, but suddenly they'll stop hearing. That's why Prabhupada said, even if one is very highly advanced, he can fall down. And highly advanced what? Maharaj Bharat was in Bhava state. Just imagine. Can't imagine also. Bhava means at Nishta, the devotee has already got mukti, achieved mukti, liberation. Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava. Three stages further from Nishta. So much of, or just let me put it this way, one stage below Prema, just one set before, one stage before Prema. Meaning far from material, like mundane, whatever, like general liberation. Far from it. What about us? We are still struggling in Anartha Nivritti. Then if we develop material attachment, okay, shall I continue? Even though one is in the Renaissance order, one who is advanced certainly feels compassion for suffering, living entities. See, this suffering, living entities means not the bodily suffering. It's the suffering of the soul that we have to see, not bodily suffering. One should certainly neglect his own personal interests, although they may be very important to protect one who has surrendered. But this is all on the spiritual, not on the material. Is very strong in the name of philanthropy, altruism, communism. People are feeling compassion for suffering humanity throughout the world. Philanthropists, altruists do not realize that it is impossible to improve people's material conditions. Devotees also don't realize. Why only philanthropists and altruists? When devotees do not realize that it is impossible to improve people's material conditions beyond what has been ordained. Material conditions are already established by the superior administration according to one's karma. They cannot be changed. The only benefit we can render to suffering beings is to try to raise them to spiritual consciousness. Please read these three statements again and again and again. Devotees are also in this misconception that we can try and improve our material condition. No, it is as per our karma. They cannot be changed. The only benefit we can render to ourselves or other suffering beings is to try to raise ourselves on the spiritual path. Raise our spiritual, raise their spiritual. Material comforts cannot be increased or decreased. Therefore, said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tallabhyate dukkha vadanyata sukham. As far as material happiness is concerned, that comes without effort. Tallabhyate dukkha anyata sukham. Just like sukham comes, sukham also will come. Or the other way around. Just as dukkham will come, sukham will also come. Without any effort. Niyata. Nothing else needs to be done. Material happiness and pain can be attained without endeavor. Can't digest this only, right? We think that we have to endeavor for material happiness. No, it comes without endeavor because it is ordained. Look at this. Very powerful set of verses purpose. One should not bother for material activity. Of course, to how we should actually implement this in our life, we should take guidance from Guru or very highly advanced. One is at all sympathetic or able to do good to others, we should endeavor to raise people to Krishna. This way, everyone advances spiritually by our instruction. Bharat Maharaj acted, led by so-called welfare activities conducted, not give up his interest in the favor of any cost, at any cost, not give up any favor. Generally, people do not know this or they forget it. Consequently, they sacrifice their original interest, attainment of Vishnu's favor, Arthagatimi Vishnu, engage in philanthropic or whatever material attack. Okay. Due to attachment for the deer, Maharaja Bharata lay down with it, walked out with faith, ate with it. His heart became bound to the deer enough. When he wanted to enter the forest, grass, flowers, wood, leaves, would fear the dogs, jackals, tigers, and other ferocious animals. Deer would therefore always take the deer with him. Maharaja Bharata increased his affection for the deer. Even such an exalted personality as him who had attained loving due affection, Bhava, learned from his position. Consequently, as will be seen, he had to accept the power. Yes. If this was the case with Maharaj Bharat, what can we say of those who are nonsense people? Who do become attached to cats? This affection, they have to take same bodily forms. Unless they clearly increase their affection and love for the Supreme Lord. Clearly increase love and affection. Unless we increase our faith in the Supreme Lord, we shall be unless we increase our faith in God, we shall be attracted to many. So our attraction to many other things is also because of our lack of faith. What is the cause? When entering the forest, the animal would appear very attractive to Maharaj Bharat due to its childish behavior. Even take care of the deer on his take the deer on his shoulders, carry it to and heart was so filled with great love for the deer that nap or when sleeping on his chest in this way, Maharaja Bharata left his home, wife, children, kingdom, everything else to advance in spiritual life. Fell with fiction. What then was the use of his renouncing his family? One was serious in advancing, not attached to anything but sometimes in order to reach, we have to accept many material so that everything is. By chance, we think that it is for me. Oh, this position is for me, this money is for me, this comfort is for me. Then we'll follow. If we remember that everything is for Krishna, then we will not be victimized by material activity. When Maharaja Bharata was actually worshipping the Lord or engaged in some ritualistic ceremony, although his activities were unfinished, he would still at intervals get up and see where the deer was. In this way, for it, and when he could see that the deer was comfortably situated, his mind and heart would be very satisfied and would bestow his blessings upon the deer. My dear calf, may you be happy in all respects. And his fleet, because of his attraction was so intense. Attraction and restless due to inordinate affection. The fact that he had to get up at intervals to look for the deer was simply a sign that he had fallen down. If you are doing chanting like this, taking it at intervals, talking to people, looking at our phone, yeah, there are many more. So much description is given about his mental state. Imagine this is just to highlight to us saying that too much material attachment to anything material will result in this. Krishna. Okay. Anybody? Anything? All clear? Okay. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जगत श्री